screen to see the stuff. Let's see, are we online? Let me refresh this. Where am I? Yes, I think I'm here. All right, let me also share this on my page. So share now, public. Okay, this has been shared on my timeline. All right, hello everybody. Welcome back. It's been a week or so since we've met. My name is Chetan Sharma, and I'm an illustrator, animator, director of animation films, writer, designer, voiceover artist, and many other small things. Yeah, and I've been illustrating children's books for many years now, and one of the fun things is that is my association with Karadi Tales. Like I mentioned in my last session also, that I did my first book for Karadi Tales in 1997, which is when we set up our studio. It's called Animagic. It's based in Mumbai. And as part of doing that book, we also did a music video, which you saw in the last session. And today also we're going to show you some animation that we did fairly recently, which you have probably already seen along with all the other audio books like The Rumor and the other things that you have been seeing. You might have already seen that animation, but we'll show it to you again. It involves our good friend Karadi and little sweet Meera. We also shared the story of Meera last time, and let's see if we can revisit her, because some of you missed how we drew Meera. But maybe we can try and remedy that today if we have time. In the meantime, I don't know whether you are aware of what we're going to be tackling today. If you have any guesses, you can put them in the comments and whatnot, while we'll show you a little. It's a very small video. It's 30 seconds. It's almost like an opener, you can say. It's a title animation. So let's quickly see that 30-second animation while you start guessing and doing all kinds of other things of what we're going to draw today. What are we going to learn and what are we going to see? Okay. In the meantime, watch this little video. Can we have the video, please? Okay, I hope you got to see it complete. I had a few stop and start thingies that happened within that 30 seconds. So while technology is great, it allows us to communicate. There can often be a few jerks and so on and so forth. But I think that when you'll watch the rerun, I'm sure that you'll be able to see it properly. So in case you didn't get to see it, do watch it a little later. So did you all guess what we are going to be doing today? I can see that a lot of people have. And yes, it is very nice to see all of you all again. And yes, we are going to be talking about drum roll, Super Hatman. And for those who know who Super Hatman is, who have come to the session yesterday by Kaushik when he retold that story, you might have also seen the pictures from the book yesterday. But I will tell you a little bit about Super Hatman, though I don't I have like the physical book. I'm show you. This is the book that we did. This was done back in 2008. This is called Super Hatman, and it comes with a CD where Javed Jafri tells you the story as well. Okay, and Super Hatman is a crazy guy. Now I don't know whether I should be recounting the story because that will take too much time. But Super Hatman is a story of a crazy yogi. Okay, he's a yogi, and he's crazy. Okay, even though he's so proficient in yoga, what this poor fellow wants is more and more superpowers. He's not happy with just being healthy and just being able to do things in a good way. He is eager for superpowers. Okay, so these are the things he wants to do. He wants to fly. He wants to be able to wrestle with elephants, and he wants to be able to make an omelette with laser beams from his eyes. and he wants to be able to fly like an eagle and so on and so forth. Basically, everything that you've ever seen any superhero do, our super Hatman wants to do as well. Now, somebody tells him that the best way to do that is that he has a friend somewhere up in the mountains and he should visit him. And Hatman goes running all the way to Tibet to meet with this holy man's friend who's up there in that monastery you can see up in the mountains. And Super Hatman does land up at the monastery thinking, oh man, let's go for it now. And he goes and he visits the head monk. Now there's a, yeah. And the head monk is pleasantly amused with him. But he says, enough chit chat, let's get down to business. Tell me how to do it. And the head monk says, it's very simple, really. He tells them, all you have to do is just say a very small mantra. You have to go and have a bath in ice cold water. And you have to say a small mantra. And when you say that mantra, okay, you have to say that mantra. What is that mantra? It's a very simple mantra. He's Buddhist and he tells him, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Just tells him these 3 lines. And it could be any mantra actually when we realize what this thing is about. But he tells him these. But he tells him, listen, no, it's just, that's simple, Atman says, you know. It's as simple as that. But he says, whatever you do, like, the thing you have to remember is not to think of monkeys while you're doing it. Okay? And he says, Superman says, why will anybody think of a monkey? It's stupid or what? So, Hatman goes and he does his thing. He has his bath and everything. He gets all set and he gets down to meditate. He says the first line, and the moment he says the first line, pop, one monkey pops up. And he says, okay, why has this monkey come? Now what he has to do is he has to have a bath again. And then he has to again start with his business. And every time he does it, he thinks of another monkey. And before he knows it, the monkeys are harassing him left, right, and center. Okay, he can really see them alive now. And as he does this, he goes back again, has a bath. Again, he starts doing it. And every time he does it, the number of monkeys keeps increasing. He's completely harassed by these monkeys. Okay, till he can take it no more. He's done it like 50 times and he hasn't even gotten past the first line of the mantra. Every time there are monkeys and simians of all species jumping up and down on him. Okay, I don't know if you can see all the monkeys. I'll show you some of the monkeys on my screen later on. I have some drawings. And they all jump on him and harass him till he can't take it no more. He goes running to that head monk and he says, please, please, let me go. And then they tells him, please go your way. Forget about superpowers and the monkeys will probably leave you. And off goes Super Hatman, running home. He goes running home and the monkeys are not letting go of him. And even now, every now and then when he thinks of having a superpower, there he can see a monkey and it takes that idea right out of his head. If you can't control the monkeys in your mind, then you probably don't deserve no superpowers. Okay? So, only people who can control their mind and who are able to have a certain equanimity and who are not doing this for like, oh, vain power, I should be able to do this, I'll box that guy's face and I should be able to jump off this building without getting hurt. Only people who don't have those kind of desires can maybe afford to quieten their mind enough to get to the superpower business, which mind they probably won't need superpower. So it's like a little bit of a circle. So what are we going to do today? Okay, this is the story, this is the book, this is the illustrations. Hopefully some of you all have the book, you'll have seen the illustrations in detail. I will quickly show you all a few things. Okay, so what I'm going to show you first is I'm going to show you a few rough sketches of how I designed the book. I'll show you only 1 or 2. I'll show you how I designed the character. So I'll show you some rough sketches of that. And I'll do you a quick demo of drawing Super Hatman. Okay. After that, we are going to get to the little exercise that we will do. We'll draw something together. And can you all guess what that will be? It will be related to this book. It will be related also to what we did the last time. And it's also related to a fun song that you all have been singing behind my back. Okay. And it has to do with the music video that we made last time. So let's have you talking about what that is going to be. But first, I shall show you Super Hatman. So let's go to my screen and let me show you how I went about drawing Super Hatman. All right. My screen is going to get shared now. And when it does that, yes, I become small and you can see my screen. Now, what happens is that I do a lot of loose doodles of how poses might happen and so on and so forth. So if there was a scene of where he was standing with the in the monastery, for example, so I want him standing proud, and there could be other lamas and so on and so forth. And I'll say, okay, this is the whole monastery, and you know, there are people here, there's somebody here, somebody there, blah, blah, blah. And Super Hatman is like, hey man, what's going on? So I might do a lot of rough doodles, which just to explore how I might tell that story. So I'll show you a bit of that. So before I do any final drawings, okay, here goes. First and foremost, the design of Super Hatman. Okay, so you'll see here that a lot of these drawings, Super Hatman doesn't look like a lot of these drawings here, right? Because these are the preliminary drawings that we did while we were designing. So he was very fit, he was very physically active, and he was doing exercises all the time. So we did a lot of drawings. Then we looked at a lot of people who do yoga and who are very popular, and we said, acha, okay, this Baba is doing yoga, he's not exactly looking all buffed up and all, so it's maybe about flexibility and some amount of, so we played around with a lot of these ideas. And of course he had to be super flexible, he could do anything. So we did a lot of drawings, these are some of them, and came up with some sort of an idea of how Hatman will look. Now here is a little skinnier here, but you can see that the idea of him being tortured by monkeys is already coming in. So when he starts to meditate, now in animation or in when we are designing books, in my approach is that whatever happens in the story, I'll doodle them out to see whether my character or my actor is going to be able to pull it off. How does he look when he does that? How does he look when he does this? Hence you'll see even these poses, it's not just a person standing, it is a person doing yoga poses and whatnot. So once we have a sense of acting and characterization, like we can sense his personality. Like here he's a little skinny, so you can see that over here he's already started to get like, because he was not doing 1 or 2 Surya Namaskars. No, he was doing 150 Surya Namaskars. He was, so everything he must have been doing in such a large quantity that he was going to be, he was not just doing yoga asanas, he was actually doing them even as exercises. So if you're spending all your time doing that and putting yourself through the rigors, then it's possible that you will be built quite strong. Okay, no, not this. Okay. So now you saw that earlier drawing where he was being tortured by the monkeys. Now when I was doodling for the book, and his character was a little more finished, we started doing doodles which are closer to what you see in the book. And then once I had a pose that I was satisfied with, then in this particular scene, I've not used his whole body. If you remember in the book, it's a close-up of him, because we have already seen him full figure in an earlier page. So over here we see just a close-up, if you may say, of what's happening, and he's completely not able to understand what to do, while the monkeys are having a lot of fun. Can you see the monkeys? Can you see what the monkeys are doing? One of the monkeys is pulling at his hair, one of the monkeys is actually swinging from it, and one of the monkeys is pulling his beard, and he of course can't make head and tail of what to do. Okay, and in the final illustration, this is what it looks like in the final illustration. You may remember this, and I'll show you 1 or 2 more. Okay, so this is where he goes after all the monkeys have harassed him. He goes to the head monk and just, please help me. And so this is my rough doodle from my drawing book, and you will see that as we go along, we do cleanups of these drawings. So you can see that the monk has now got cleaned up, and even Hathaman is going through the paces. I've done one more version of him, and I'm still not done. And this is the final drawing of Hathaman being completely harassed by the monkeys. And again, you'll see what all fun things the monkeys are doing. They're pulling his hair, somebody's pulling at his dhoti, somebody's running to do some more mischief somewhere, and you can see he's basically just harassed. And then when the coloring is done, you see that it looks something like this. Yeah, and in this book, I cleaned up the drawings with red pencil. As you can see, this is the very common red and blue checking pencil that you get. So I use that for doing the final cleanups of all of these. Okay, so this is your red and blue pencil. It was done paper and scanned and whatever. So similar here, when Super Hatman is looking, when Hatman is wanting to become super, this is a page from my drawing book. So you can see that I'm doodling ideas here. I'm not interested in doing a final drawing. I just want to find out what it is that he wants to do. Of course, some drawings tend to look a little more complete. And then once the ideas are clear, you can see that this idea here of him flying, what you can see on the right hand side, this has got cleaned up here with Hatman flying. Now he's quite small in the book, but this drawing is as you see it. Even this. And here is Super Hatman, again cleaned up in red pencil, full of a dreamy vision of how exciting it's going to be when he has superpowers. And this is what the final spread looks like. Okay, so when you see it in the book, of course, there's text in this corner, in the left-hand side corner, hence it's left empty, but he's got all his powers here. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to quickly demonstrate for you what Super Hatman is like. And let's begin with, you remember the last time that I did some rough construction, and again we will do some rough construction here as well. So when we are drawing a head, we'll draw a circle. Now this is not our tutorial for the day, this is just a demo. What we're going to do a little tutorial of, we'll find out in a moment. Okay, as soon as this is done. Now this is Super Hatman, and this is going to be he's got a big chest, and you know, so it's all made up of basic shapes, like I told you the last time. So I don't end up drawing all the basic shapes every time, because after years of practice, it's kind of a little ingrained. It goes into your blood. Now, even when you're drawing the muscles, okay, and let's say that Super Hatman is flexing. Okay, now Super Hatman has a very strong and prominent nose. Why does he have a nose? Now, why I gave him the nose is because he's arrogant. He's got like, Now, how do I show that? Because I want to show that is why I have that prominent nose. And you will notice in the book that I hardly gave him any ears. They're very small, they're very tiny, because he actually doesn't listen to anyone at all. And I also reduced the size of his head so that he doesn't really, is not very strong in that department, you know. So, and he has hair like this, and then he, of course, the arrogance continues to his chin, and let's say that he's very happy. He's very happy with himself. Now, this is all the rough drawing we need to do. We don't need any more than this. Okay, and so when you're drawing a character like Hatman, then obviously some knowledge of anatomy and stuff is important, and so that you know where you're placing the muscles. Now, normally when I did the book, I actually did the drawings on a light box. So I would do my rough drawing, then put another paper on top of it, and there would be a light bulb below, so I could draw on top of that. Now, today we are doing this digitally, so I'm able to just make, I work in Photoshop, so a lot of people were asking. So you can see that I'm able to make that drawing transparent, and here we're going to draw his, okay, nice. That's his face, chi, and like I told you, not too much in the department up there. Very small ears. His hair is curly, like mine. A bit of yourself creeps into anything you do. So here we go. And it's Hartman's face for you. And then he has a strong neck, obviously. And we're not interested in drawing a completely realistic anatomy, because this is it's a comedy as well, and you want to keep some amount of exaggeration in it so that it's enjoyable, you know. So, but if you know your anatomy somewhat, then you are able to do that shorthand without losing out on a lot of stuff. Okay, so his hands are here, and here's his dhoti, which I'm not going to detail right now. And then what we did is that we give him some lots of body hair. You see, it is a lot of people shy away from drawing body hair and whatnot, but it's life. We have it. So a lot of men have it, and it's part of his manliness that he likes his hair and everything. So he's very much in that zone. Yeah. So that's a little demo of Super Hathaman for you. Hope you enjoyed this. And we can just give some more. Okay. And just to fix a few things. And yeah. All right. So we close off your rough drawing, and there you have this. Now, if you want to go one step ahead, then you can quickly just put in some shadow, give some solidity. So that helps the muscles to pop out a bit. Okay. So that is Super Hathaman for you. I hope that you have seen how he probably came to life in the book, and gives you some idea of how I work. And yes, that is it for Super Hathaman. Now, have you all guessed what it is that we are going to be studying today? We're going to be doing a drawing together as well, right? So, wow, somebody actually found it boring. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry if I dragged on this. But let's go to what we will do next. If you haven't guessed already, it's going to be, let me write it for you. Monkeys. Okay, so we're going to be drawing monkeys. And I'm going to show you a simple monkey, and then we'll take it from there. So now a monkey is a very physical kind of an animal, likes to jump around, laugh, and you saw a lot of the drawings in the book also, where the monkeys were really harassing Super Hatman. So you need to be able to draw the monkeys doing various things. Now, you keep the shapes kind of simple. Now, obviously, we don't draw a real monkey, but if you've been following this and the last session, then we basically make basic shapes. Okay, we basically make basic shapes. How's that? So a little oval for a body, a kind of circle for a face. Then usually we might just, the legs are not very long proportionately. If it was a human being, the legs would have been longer, and hands are long because they are able to do all kinds of things. And then, of course, there's a long tail. Okay, you can exaggerate the tail. They often have big ears as well. Now, if you remember, we spoke about the defining line last time to show you what angle the character is in. Now we quickly draw some rough eyes on him. The nose is usually small, and if we just do a few details on this, we have at least a basic shape of what the monkey is. Now, if we draw our final lines on this, then what we could get is, now this is a default pose. We might give him a little hair. Okay. Now, when you draw your monkey, you could do any number of things with it. Okay, you could give him a different kind of hairline. Your ears could be bigger, smaller, pointier, rounder. I am making these kind of ears for now. Okay, your eyes and expressions could be any which way. Now I'm making his eyes big. Okay, and another oval, and yeah, then might make his, then you complete his body. Let's draw his hands first. Hands also have hair on them, so, and big fingers, because very expressive monkeys are. You, when you're drawing any character, especially characters that are based on real creatures and yourself, I mentioned this last time also, that you should try and remember real things. So in this case also, you will try and remember real monkeys. So you're not drawing real monkeys, but when you're drawing real monkeys, it gives you a good sense of how to caricature them, and how to draw uh, various things, how to exaggerate various things. Yeah, and if we do it like this, then we get our basic monkey. Okay, now we could do any number of things with this monkey. So if you see this monkey, okay, we could do anything with this monkey that we wanted. You can fill in some basic colors with your crayons or with whatever. Hang on. What has just happened? Okay. So we just filling in a few colors. Again, you can color him any which way you want. If you see monkeys from around the world, you'll find that they are colored in a variety of ways. And the kind of monkeys that we find in India, langurs and macaques, they have a different kind of color scheme. Langurs, if you know, are whitish, grayish, um, and macaques are a little more of the skin color kind of a design. And I'm just doing very loose coloring because I don't have the time right now, because we're running out of time. And his face, I'm going to make a little more pinkish, because macaque monkeys are like that. And here we go, 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 here we go. Okay, and that gives you a basic monkey. Okay, now what I would have liked to do if we had time, but we I think have just 1 minute, is to try and show you how to make Meera out of this monkey. Shall I try and do that? You remember Meera, no? So if I was to try and make Meera out of her, then essentially what I will do is, you would draw a monkey pretty much the same way. You visualize it. Now I'm going to take the same monkey and make Meera out of it. So Meera, if you remember, was based on my little sister, who loves it, by the way. There were a few people who were concerned that maybe she might not appreciate the fact that I made her into a monkey. But I think she feels it has immortalized her, and she's very pleased about it. And she has absolutely no issues with being understood as Meera's inspiration. Okay, Meera's here is a little smaller than this, and she's a little child as well. So we tend to focus a little more on the, you can already see the Meera starting to come together in this much. I'll just zoom in a little bit more so you can see the face. Today, thankfully, there seem to be no breaks in the visuals, so I'm taking the chance. Yeah, she has a little bindi. She has a little nose. Sorry, I think I pulled out a little bit too much. And here we go. And that's Meera's face for you. Okay. Now, what happens with Meera is that she has hair like a human being. So she gets a little choti. She's a little girl. And now, once we have this, let's zoom out a little bit more. Once we have this, we can start building on her body. Now the thing is that Meera's what we call a head to body proportion. Like you see that in small children, the head generally appears much bigger than the rest of the body, right? And in a grown-up person, the head is sort of proportionate in a different way. It's much smaller in comparison to the rest of the body. The moment we see this, we know that it's a child, it's innocent. If you put big ears to this, you might make him Jerry the mouse. You could do any number of things, right? This is what it is all based on, a sense of proportion. So Meera's head needs to be a little bigger than the rest of the thing. So because I don't have time to make a new drawing, I'm just going to enlarge this quickly. And now you can see that her head is in proportion to the rest of her body. She's a small child. And last time's Meera was just face and neck, but this time we have a lot more. Let me not draw this hand. We'll do something else with it. And then she has a little skirt, right? She wears a little skirt. And you saw that little animation we showed you right in the beginning. All that animation is done exactly like this, okay? Drawing after drawing. And it's done almost exactly like this. We just have to make many, many more drawings. And let's take this. And she's saying, hey there, everyone. And let's make her, yeah. No, we don't need this. And we can, yes. And we could take this here and we could make, push this leg out a little bit so we get a little more dynamism in the pose. So you see she remains a monkey, but at the same time she becomes a little girl. And this is the fun of drawing characters and creating characters like this. It's got to remain the animal that it is, and at the same time we kind of put our own twists on it. Okay. So much. Yeah. So you all got a little tutorial of Meera now. I think the time is up. I hope that you enjoyed this, and can't wait to see what you all will draw now with monkeys and whatnot. I think that a lot of people, you have done Karadis as well, and I've seen some of them, and they're quite fun and quite brilliant. So if you keep practicing like that, I think a lot of you are going to be taking a lot of burden off my head. You all will be drawing Karadis, I think, for Karadi very, very soon if you keep at it. Okay, you should be able to draw a character in any angle, doing anything that your imagination calls for. And the work of the artist really is to be very flexible in the way that they draw and that they think, and they have to be constantly learning. Okay, so what I have shown you today of how I work, this is not the only way to do it. There are any number of artists will draw in many, many different ways. So if you are learning, it's also a great idea to see how different artists draw, and it gives you some clues, and you will develop your own way of drawing. Okay, so even if you're drawing a cartoon like this, you still will have your own approach to it, your own sensibility to it. And very importantly, as you will see life around you, you see your friends. I told you Meera is based on my sister. So if you had to draw Meera, you would have to imagine somebody that you deeply loved, you cared for, and who was very mischievous, who was naughty. And so all of these would be at the back of your head when you would be drawing any character, okay, any drawing of Meera. So in order to draw Meera, you have to have somebody who's like Meera in your head, so that you have a feeling. It's never just doing a drawing for its own sake. You don't just say, oh, you want a drawing, is it? Okay, yeah, let me just put my pencil on paper, draw something for you, and just give it out. No, it never works like that. If you want to be a good artist, you want to be a storyteller, then you have to be in that scene. So when you saw all those pictures of Hathaman, I was being him at that point in time. No, I wasn't saying nasty things to people, but I was imagining what it is like to be super Hatman and to be like to think no end of yourself. And I was also thinking what it is like to be the head monk who's kind and compassionate. What is his body language like? how does he speak, how does he smile, and how does he listen to, how is he patient with a guy like Super Hatman. So all of these things have to be real in your head before they can become real on paper. All right. So with these thoughts, I shall say all the best to all of you. Do lots of great drawings in this period of lockdown when you can't really do much else. It's a great time to improve your skills and to experiment and play. Even people who don't draw all that often or don't draw at all, and people of every age, just go for it. Just draw and have fun, because especially with cartoons and with characters and stuff, it's a lot of fun, and you can be anything you want. I can be Meera, I can be a little crow, I can be a little boy who's out grazing sheep, I can be a villainous monster, I can be an idiot like Super Hatman, and I can be a wise old sage. So drawing allows you to be anything. Okay, and you don't need anything for it. If you have a little book and a pencil and a paper or whatever, you can keep doodling and drawing. You don't need fancy equipment for it, unless you're making a product with it, which is later. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so have fun. Important, have fun. Okay, drawing will only work if you have fun. All right. So with these words, I'm looking forward to seeing your drawings, and a tip of my hat to Karadi again, who loves you all so much and who's made all these sessions for you. I've been listening to storytelling sessions. I've been also seeing some little animated thingies that they have made, all the stories. They're so much fun, and they have collected so many creative people to share their ideas with you. And so we must say thank you to Karadi also. So here is a namaskar to Karadi and to all the people that make up his family, and to all of you who love Karadi so much, and who read and who draw and who are excited and who come to these sessions. And good luck to all of you. All right. So till next time, bye-bye. Thank you.